Welcome, No DQ Galaxy, to another episode of What's NXT. I'm, of course, the Wizard of No DQ, Stephen Osborne, joined as always by the General, Jerry Slaughter.
How's it going?
And we are reviewing this week of November 14th, NXT. It is the go-home show to NXT Takeover this weekend in Los Angeles.
Psyched.
And so for this show, we will also be doing our predictions for NXT TakeOver along with the review. So what's NXT this week is double special if you are going to be watching NXT TakeOver and give a crap about what our predictions are.
Yeah.
But we will get to those, and we will get to our review as well. We just want to remind everybody that we also do a review for NXT UK. That is our NXT party. And we will be doing that tomorrow. It will go up on the channel tomorrow. And please join us for a spot of NXT. We will have as a special guest our very first No DQ superfan. It'll be Owen Finch tomorrow on the show. And we hope everybody enjoys it. We've got better mics, so the volume should be a lot better tomorrow. It should be a lot better now. I gave him some shit, but I had a comment on the last video about the audio quality, and I took it seriously actually, and I spent a little money and got a nicer mic than the phone mic.
$6 for a 9-volt battery at a gas station, 1 o'clock in the morning.
$6.67 because I opened this thing up and it needs a 9-volt battery, and whoever has a 9-volt battery, except in the smoke detector, and we tried that. But unfortunately, when you pull that out, the smoke detector starts beeping really loud, like every minute or so. So, yeah, we ran out at 1 o'clock in the morning to get a 9-volt battery.
On icy roads.
On icy roads. We lost our internet because of the ice and snow, but luckily I have a mobile hotspot on the phone. So we're bringing you the show despite the fact that we might die with me trying to get him home tonight. So if you guys appreciate that, I hope you appreciate the mic set and the new quality of the audio. So yeah, tomorrow we're going to have Owen Finch on the big little screen in between us as we review NXT UK. It'll be another 2 episodes. It'll be episode 7 and episode 8. So we just want to remind everybody about that. But let's get into NXT this week.
Yes. I wasn't really expecting many matches. I was expecting it all to be just video packages, but we actually had 3 matches on the card tonight. We started off with a women's match. Bianca Belair versus Mia Yim. I think that was made last week. I want to say it was last week that the match was last.
I think it was last week.
Oh yeah, because it was the head baddie in charge.
Yep.
But the match could have gone either way with these two, because you have Bianca Belair, who's undefeated, and then you have Mia Yim, who's just hot off her debut. So either way, if one of these two lost, right, it'd be killing their momentum in general, because it'd be Bianca Belair losing to someone that just now debuted, or it'll be somebody that just debuted with a victory just getting a loss and just...
Let's be fair, it would be a bigger defeat for the undefeated.
Yes.
So this match ended the way I kind of expected it to. Bianca Belair retained her undefeated streak. She won.
Yeah.
There was a few spots in this match, because she's playing the heel role, but there were a few spots in this match where it kind of looked like she was wrestling like this was going to be her first defeat.
Oh yeah, because like
first loss, I guess.
I'm about to say, a lot of people have already know that Mia Yim's pretty much established. She was over at Impact, I think, for the longest time too. So if anybody's going to hand Belair her first loss, it could have very well been Mia Yim. So,
well, this match was essentially pretty good, not great, middle of the road. There were a lot of drop kicks. A lot of drop
Mia
kicks.
Yim was throwing out drop kicks like they're peanuts at a stand.
Bianca Belair, she threw one and missed, and then she threw another one successfully later. Like, there were a lot of drop kicks in this match, but I think Mia Yim nailed like 4 in a row.
Yes. I was saying she's throwing them out and they look better than shoulder blocks. So we just kind of rolled with it.
Well, other than that being so noticeable, it was very middle of the road match. It ended with Mia Yim going for the weakest looking cannonball.
Oh, there's no power behind it at all. It didn't even look like she flailed herself.
She wasn't even halfway across the ring, corner to corner, before she started. This was the weakest looking cannonball, and she goes to take this into, I'm guessing, an eat defeat.
Yeah.
Which would be appropriate to hand Bianca Belair her first loss, but Bianca Belair counters out of that and
with a nice forearm shot, I think it was.
Yeah, to the face.
Yes.
And then she wins with her
KOD.
Yeah, they call it a KOD, but it's essentially a total package into a reverse Death Valley driver.
Yeah. It almost looked like
an inverted Michinoku driver.
Yeah, I was about to say, it looked like a torture rack into an inverted Michinoku driver, but it was still an impressive looking move. And
yeah, she was impressive.
It was
and
a great
she is
victory.
Still undefeated. I think she should, shorten that. Undefeated.
Well, at least she wasn't chewing gum this time.
Well, there was a few spots in this match where she probably would have swallowed it.
Yeah.
I don't think she would have looked quite like, as you mentioned in a spot later in the show, he brought up Mr. Perfect, and we'll get to that here in a minute. But first we have an interview backstage. We've got Kathy Kelly, and she's talking to the War Raiders, Ricochet, and Pete Dunne, trying to find out who's going to be their representative for the main event tonight, where the Undisputed Era and those four gentlemen are vying for the advantage in the War Games match in a few days at Takeover.
Those of you that are just either new to the program or new to the War Games in general, a participant from each team starts, and then after a few minutes, another participant enters the match. That's what they're vying for, to see who it will be the next person in the match or the next team to actually have anybody get involved into it. So that would actually prove a big difference maker, because then you'll have 2-on-1 for a short time there.
Who gets the number advantage first?
Yes.
So you have 2-on-1, and then you beat them down so that when the second person from the other party comes in, you have basically 2-on-1 again.
Yes.
You beat them down, and then you've got 3-on-2 that are both beat down, and then you've got one coming in, and you've got 3-on-1. And yeah, the numbers advantage in that kind of situation. Or if they do it like they did last year, where the whole team comes down, then you have 3-on-1 or 4-on-1. I'm sorry, for what is it, 5, 10, 15 minutes? Who knows what?
Well, they're making this sound like they are going to do it one by one, which I think is better anyway.
Oh yeah, space it out like every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why we only have 4 matches coming up for War Games.
I'd say probably every 2 minutes, because I think that's what they even do for Royal Rumble, isn't it? Or did they change that up? For a long time.
Well, you're going to have 6 entrants. It would only be a little bit longer than well, how long is it for an Elimination Chamber match? 5 minutes?
Yeah.
So it would only be 5 minutes longer than an Elimination Chamber match.
Yeah.
Plus the ending.
Mm-hmm.
So, we basically get Hanson.
Yeah, well, Ricochet and Dunne are just bickering back and forth that they should be the guy, and then Hanson just more or less tells him to shut the hell up. That he's
Rowe tells him to shut the hell up.
Yeah, Rowe tells him to shut up, and then Hanson throws his hat in, and
he says, "I'll do it. I'm doing this."
Yes.
So it's not that he's gonna to represent them. He's going to win this match.
Yeah.
Whether that happens or not remains to be seen. Now we get a video package for Gargano versus Aleister Black at War Games. So here's where we're going to give our predictions instead of reviewing the video package, because it's an NXT video package, especially for a Takeover pay-per-view. It's great. Okay? Oh, yeah. He took a pee break, didn't even see it, but he probably knows it was great. Because it was.
Because they do nothing but put on great video packages. They always have the right music, they always have the right clips, and they'll even have new interviews thrown in. They had
all of that.
Yep.
All the new interviews and everything. So let's get into our predictions for this match at War Games. And I say it's Aleister Black.
Okay. I say it's Gargano.
So why Gargano over Black?
But I think it's going to be Gargano by disqualification. I think
Aleister Black's going to get disqualified?
Yes. I see Aleister Black like either not breaking up when the referee tells him to or whatnot, and...
Oh, this is Takeover.
No. I can still see it happening. I can see him beaten to Gargano to the point where the ref kind of throws out the match. Maybe it spills it out to the outside, makes it like...
Have you seen a Takeover yet?
No.
Have you seen... Oh, this is his first Takeover. Oh, this is going to be great. Okay.
Well,
okay. No screwy finishes, man. I'm thinking this is going to be the main event.
No
screwy finishes.
The main event's going to be War Games. We've established this. It's going to be that cage match. Everybody's saying it's going to build to that, so it's going to be the War Games cage match.
I'll be fine either way, but I think this is going to be the main event.
But the main event in your head, at least. But yeah, I think Gargano's going to get beaten within an inch of his life to the point where the referee throws out the match.
Is that a disqualification? That's not a disqualification. That's a TKO.
Well, no, I mean if the referee tells Aleister to back off and he doesn't, that can get him disqualified, thus still making Gargano feel like he's some sort of martyr and he's still fighting for good, and Aleister Black gets to pummel Gargano into mush.
As much as I don't think that makes sense for an NXT takeover, I'm actually going to retract my prediction. I'm going to go with you, but the only reason I'm going to go with you is because it gives Johnny Gargano a reason to go against Tommaso Ciampa for the NXT Championship.
Yeah.
So I'm going to agree with you just because I'm hoping that happens.
Yes.
He gets the #1 contendership spot off the back of
because he'll automatically go to Regal like that right after that takeover event, probably on the next NXT show, and say it's like, okay, I beat Aleister Black. He's theoretically the #1 contender for whoever wins the Velveteen Dream, and
I'm worried about Aleister Black getting in the picture and making it a triple threat like it was supposed to be originally. But at the same time, he didn't lose the title in a match, so there would be no contract with a rematch clause.
Yeah.
He lost the title because he was stripped because he was injured.
But the way I see this happening, though, is I see Gargano like trying to say he deserves to be this because he's the #1 contender, and Riddle will tell him, whoa, you are not the #1 contender, because last time I checked, we had somebody beat the #1 contender to Tommaso Ciampa that week prior, and Lars Sullivan. So I think it'll be Lars Sullivan versus Gargano for the #1 contender spot.
I'm okay with that too.
That'd be an excellent match, I think, and I hope it builds to that. But that's my prediction, Gargano.
That'll be a great TV match halfway between now and, I guess, the Royal Rumble's NXT TakeOver in January.
Yep.
So I'd be okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
So next we have, just to be clear, we're both going with Johnny Gargano for that.
Yeah.
So next we have Matt Riddle backstage getting interviewed again by Kathy Kelly, probably in a different outfit, but who knows. We noticed he called his debut the other week. He called it his debut. So we were really happy about that.
Do you think he watches the show?
Oh my gosh, that would be awesome.
That'd be great.
Obviously, he probably wouldn't comment, but
no.
But if you are watching Matt Riddle, we want to apologize so humbly for forgetting your name a few weeks ago.
But yeah, that was so awesome. But naturally, Kassius Ohno comes out and
interrupts, cools down the moment.
Wonders, like, he's like, are we gonna have this wrestling match or what? You know, pretty much like the whole challenge thing. Like he said, he challenged.
He didn't
Riddle,
challenge him,
and he didn't. He just talked.
He taunted him. He called him out a little bit, but he didn't challenge him. And he expects Matt Riddle to have gone to Regal to get a match off of the back of this taunting. And I'm like, okay, sure. It's weird, but okay. But basically, now that he brings up a match, of course Matt Riddle's in. He's a baby face.
Yeah.
So he's like, sure, I'll call your bluff. Let's have a match next week.
I I still cannot get invested into this match.
I tell you what, if this is next week, then this is going to be a dark match at NXT Takeover.
Yeah.
So I think maybe this will be a good match out of Kassius Ohno. Maybe Matt Riddle will bring a good match out of Kassius Ohno, and he won't look so, cool and bland.
Yeah, like, maybe the clashing of styles will actually make it, blend well and everything, but right now, if you're talking about Chris Hero / Kassius Ohno about 7 or 8 years ago, great, but the guy I saw wrestle the other day, this last time, that was not what I was used to.
It was Kassius Ohno, not Chris Hero.
Yeah, it wasn't Chris Hero. And
so
if he has any chance of really beating Matt Riddle, he's got to channel that. Otherwise, I don't see that happening. So.
Well, I don't see it happening, and since this is going to be a pre-show dark match for NXT TakeOver, and we're only getting 4 matches for NXT TakeOver instead of 5, I say let's do a prediction for this match. I'm saying Matt Riddle. Easily.
Riddle.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we can move on to Carissa Rivera.
It'll be a crappy match. It'll be a match.
Well, speaking of a match, actually this was it wasn't a long match, but this was a pretty good match. We have Carissa Rivera in the ring already. Her music's playing, but she didn't get an entrance. Which is weird because it's NXT, and this show was only 52, 53 minutes.
Yeah.
They had time to give her an entrance, but whatever. Versus Lacey Evans,
someone we just can't get enough of.
Yeah, can't get enough of Lacey Evans. She looks great. She wrestles great. She's got a great attitude. Like the way she looks, like her facial features, her smirks and shit. Like. She's the character through and through.
Oh, yeah.
And we dig her. But it wasn't a very long match. Didn't need to be. Obviously, Carissa Rivera was fodder for Lacey Evans' win.
Lacey Evans wrestles every match like it's her debut match. Seriously. Like, I have not seen a match so far with her that she wasn't completely dominant in. Like, somebody gets a couple cheap shots in, sure, but with her, like, at one point even, she's doing push-ups on this poor girl.
Yeah, she
okay?
throws her to the mat, she does push-ups on her, and then whacks her head into the mat.
Yeah.
She's aggressive, she doesn't do a whole lot of flash, but her women's right, I mean, as devastating as a right hand can look from anybody, she throws it.
She packs the power of like 8 Stephanie slaps in like one hand.
I mean, she knocks her cold. She has to drag her away from the ropes, although I don't think it was going to be a problem. It wasn't like we saw Dozovic a few weeks ago, where his girth just makes his arms flail out, even despite his efforts. If he goes limp, his arms, he does a snow angel. So we have Lacey Evans win, and it wasn't a long match, probably because she cuts a promo afterwards.
Oh, but there's something else I really liked about that match was at one point, like, she started feeling her chest, like, ew, like, it's almost like she was disgusted that her opponent even had her hands on her.
Well, she calls basically all of her opponents the nasties of NXT, all of the other women in the division, and she's going to teach them how to be classy and how to be dignified. And it was a short promo, but sweet, and I'm digging Lacey Evans. I hope she gets in the title picture soon, or the women's title picture if there is titles that extend to the show, but we won't get into that. No. Next up, we have 2 video packages in a row, and we are going to have 2 predictions in a row.
All right.
First off, we have the NXT Championship match. We've got the champion Tommaso Ciampa. We've got the challenger Velveteen Dream. Who do you think is going to pull this one out?
I think Ciampa is. And the way I see that going down is I think Gargano is actually going to play a factor in that too. I think he's going to pop back up, and the same thing is going to happen to Velveteen Dream that happened with Lars Sullivan. He's going to get distracted by his presence. Ciampa's going to take advantage, but at the same time, I see him kicking out whatever Ciampa throws at him, Ciampa has to do a couple other moves, maybe another set of them, but then like Velveteen Dream will be out. It'll be the end of that one, but. And that way you can keep on going with also Gargano saying the only reason Ciampa still even has a belt is I was there. Like, just continue with the delusion. I think they're really building for that.
I'm hoping that they keep them separate until they make it a program. I would rather see Lars Sullivan come out and interfere in the match in some way and cause Velveteen Dream, and then that can make a Lars Sullivan versus Velveteen Dream feud for the near future, maybe the next couple of weeks or months on NXT. But I'm agreeing with you totally that Ciampa's going to win. Ciampa may just pull this one out without any help.
Yeah.
He's that kind of champion in between bells.
That's what I'm saying. I would love to see that, but then I also like to see what I said too. But at the same time, I think regardless I'm going to be entertained by this match. So it's one of these things where it's like, as long as, it's a clear-cut winner, and the matches get thrown out or some crap, I'll be a happy camper. But I see Ciampa winning.
So our next video, well, to be clear, again, we are both selecting Tommaso Ciampa to retain the NXT Championship. So our next video package was for the Women's NXT Championship match. That's going to be the champion, the first two-time champion, Shayna Baszler. I'm not sure if it's clear, because in the video package, Kairi Sane, who is the challenger, noted that she said that Baszler wasn't going to have Shafir and I remembered one name.
Yep. She won't have her little entourage.
She won't have her squad with her. But I'm not sure if that's true. Nothing's been said officially that they'd be barred from ringside. Maybe they were only with her last time because it was the women's pay-per-view Evolution. But they were also with her backstage when Regal caught up to her and announced that it was going to be the rematch at NXT War Games.
Who knows? Maybe the referee will actually say you two in the back now, or maybe they'll be in the
Shafir. I'm trying to remember their names. I'm sorry.
How about we not do that? But yeah, like that, or I can see them sitting at ringside again, which is possible too. That way they're not theoretically in the match, but they're close enough that they could interfere.
So I'm going with Kairi Sane.
You're going with Kairi? Well, okay. Any reason why? Do you have any idea of like how?
Oh, I was going to wait for you to say yours and then explain, but no, Kairi.
You go ahead and explain first.
Okay, well, not that I want to see Shayna Baszler lose. I love Shayna Baszler.
Oh, yeah. Who doesn't?
But we have the possibility now that Becky Lynch injured herself or got injured by Nia Jax, whatever. Since Becky Lynch is injured and had to do the handshake hug angle with Charlotte on Tuesday's SmackDown. I don't know if you saw that.
I saw that.
We have the opportunity now that all four of the horsewomen in WWE are faces, legitimately like storyline faces, to have four horsemen versus four horsewomen. Now that Jessamyn Duke and Maria Shafir, I think it's Maria, something like that, and Jessamyn Duke and Shayna Baszler can show up at Survivor Series where we don't have anything going on with Bayley and Sasha Banks, so they can show up with a injured, I don't know how maybe they just all be in the corner so she wouldn't have to do anything, but definitely Becky Lynch can be there.
Yep.
So we could actually see the beginnings of that come Survivor Series. So I'm going with a title change so that Shayna Baszler and the rest of the gang can be called up.
Okay. Well, for me, I think it's going to be Kairi Sane, and it's naturally going to be 2 falls to 1. I see Shayna Baszler getting the first pin, probably by like an actual pin, and then the second one I see Kairi actually getting a pinfall on her. But then for the third fall, it's gonna be a whole bunch of like, close call finishes, maybe submissions, like getting to ropes and all that stuff. But I keep on forgetting what those two names are, but I think they're gonna play a factor. I think I think one of them's gonna be distracting the ref. The other one, the other one's gonna try to help Shayna out, but ultimately Kyrie's gonna either play possum or something. Shayna's gonna get overconfident and get quickly rolled up or some shit, and we get completely caught off guard.
I think if Duke and Shafir are involved, it's going to end up backfiring on Shayna Baszler.
Yeah.
This time around, Kairi Sane will get the pinfall off of whatever they try to do shenanigans-wise. Probably on the final pinfall, it'll be 1-1. But yeah, I give it to Kairi Sane because Kairi Sane will stay in NXT and be the champion. And Shayna Baszler, it's time for the main roster.
Yeah, I even saw a kid with a Kairi Sane t-shirt on in this episode of NXT. So I'm like, yeah, that's their marketing thing right now, and Kairi's gonna win the belt back. Even though I think it's kind of wrong to give Shayna the belt only to take right back away, like not even a month, and that kind of makes it feel like a transitional champion to me, and I really don't like that.
No, she just had to get her win back for the champion. It makes her look more credible as she leaves than just I won the title, was dominant for a little bit, then I lost it, I left. No, I came back, I won it back, but then I lost it. But then you know what? Who cares? I'm gonna go be one of the 4 horsewomen of MMA up on the main roster, and I think that's how Ronda Rousey gets the win at Survivor Series is she turns heel. Baszler and Jessamine Duke and Maria Shafir come out and help her win, keeps her winning streak intact, and then we can see 4-on-4 at the Royal Rumble, and then we can see Becky Lynch versus Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania.
That would be pretty much a great finish for that. So I agree to that too. So
far we are 3 for 3 agreeing. And in this case, we agree Kairi Sane is going to reclaim her gold, her treasure, she called it in the video.
Yeah.
She's going to reclaim the NXT Women's Championship.
She only had a little bit of booty left in her chest.
So this leads us into the main event. And she only has a little bit of booty anyway. The main event is going to be for the advantage at War Games.
Yeah.
NXT War Games. So we're going to have Hanson versus Kyle O'Reilly, and the winning team gets first.
I'm actually really surprised there wasn't some sort of interview segment with them back there selecting Kyle O'Reilly. Like I guess they may have mentioned it earlier in the
I don't know. I didn't see anything.
Well, the thing is with this is something we forgot to mention at the beginning. He and I are both psyched about NXT Takeover War Games for a whole other reason too. Two words: Mauro Ranallo.
Oh yes.
The return of the voice is what it is, because Vic Joseph, more power to him, but at the same time,
he's no Mauro.
No, I liken it to pretty much Jim Ross being replaced by Michael Cole's voice in the Mankind Undertaker Hell in a Cell match. It just wouldn't have that same feel to it. It wouldn't have that same.
I don't even know if he's Michael Cole good. He's more like, I don't know, not even Tom Phillips good. He's
no, he's got a lot. He's got a lot to learn, and you even hear it in some of the stuff he's mentioning.
I even think Byron Saxton would be better.
Yeah.
Than Vic Joseph.
Yeah.
I really do. He kind of throws me off on some of the matches with some of his comments, but if that's the worst thing about NXT this week, then we're doing good.
Oh yeah.
This main event was fun.
We thought naturally that Hanson and O'Reilly were like, these are like the two almost like bottom of the barrel guys that we would actually want to see in a match together.
The guys we were hoping to see were not going to. They were the ones arguing over which single star should be in the. No, we didn't get the single star. We got one half of the tag champs. And if you look at the Undisputed Era, really Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly are the tag team.
Yeah,
really.
Well, They were a tag team in Ring of Honor called Red Dragon, and multiple time champions. Very, very well respected in that company, and that's why they got snagged up so quickly, you know.
So we get one half of each of the tag teams,
yeah.
And in the case of the faces, where you have Dunn and Ricochet and the War Raiders, I would have rather had Hansen than Rowe, so it's a step up. But this match was really fun. Hansen is great. He is fun to watch. He does a suicide dive that a guy his size you just wouldn't imagine, but he pulls it off. And poor Kyle O'Reilly having to catch him. Oh man.
Oh, like if the suicide dive didn't impress me enough, with the just how fluid it looked and everything, the moonsault that he followed it up with shortly thereafter off the top rope.
Well,
a guy his size.
Yeah, he missed the moonsault, and thank God, because O'Reilly would have been just done.
Yeah.
He would have had some cracked ribs over that one.
I think anybody would have.
Well, the reason he misses the moonsault is because we finally see somebody come out from one of the teams, and who is it? Of course, the heel, Adam Cole, comes out to distract Hansen. He's shouting at Hansen from the ramp. He's actually still on the ramp, shouting from afar.
Yeah.
Don't you do it! Don't you do that! You're gonna crush him.
He's like that mom screaming across the road, you know, pretty much like hey, you boys play nice.
You boys play nice. Well, it distracts him just long enough for O'Reilly to end up rolling out of the way when he executes the moonsault. Beautiful looking miss of a moonsault. But yeah, this was a fun match. End up seeing an enziguri by Cole, which is the first blatant interference. Of course, the ref didn't see it.
Yeah.
But that ends up bringing out friggin' Rowe.
Yep.
I mean, no. First, off of the enziguri, we see Kyle O'Reilly execute a beautiful, what'd you call it? Axe and smash.
Axe and smash. He nails it with the axe kick, axe kick and the smash elbow, or forearm smash.
Yeah, it's kind of like an axe kick, but not with the leg, more of the back of the foot, you know, the whole sole.
Yeah.
To the back, and then but it brought out Rowe. Rowe comes out to neutralize Adam Cole, and then he starts chanting for Hansen to get up.
Yeah, he gets the crowd in on it and everything, but then naturally out comes Strong and Fish.
Well, Adam Cole starts to get up from the initial attack, and when it looks like, you know, Rowe is going to put him down again, that's when you see Roderick Strong come out, you see Bobby Fish come out, and now you've got 2-on-1 on him, and then Cole gets up, and then it's 3-on-1. But then we have Pete Dunne come out, who is the last person. I figured Ricochet would show up first.
Yeah. No, because maybe if it was NXT UK, I think Pete Dunne probably would have come out last. But since it's Ricochet's show, more or less, because he's the North American champion, and also the captain of the team, that he'd probably come out last, especially since what we ended up seeing was him materialize out of nowhere. I
want to mention real quick the story that this is telling, because this is telling the story, like we said earlier, of how War Games could go.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you have the initial Adam Cole interference, but then you have the neutralizer of Rowe, but then out comes the numbers advantage.
Yeah.
The numbers advantage of 2-on-1 with Strong and Fish on Rowe. And so they neutralize Rowe, but then you finally have the next member. You have Pete Dunne come out, but what happens to him? He gets neutralized too, because at this point it's 3-on-1.
Yeah.
But then you have Ricochet. Go ahead.
Ricochet just appears out of nowhere. I'm pretty sure. I guess he
un-Thanos'd. He just is in the ring from nowhere.
From out of nowhere, he just pops into the ring.
Randy Orton would be proud.
Yes, and like just as quickly as he gets into the ring, he's right back out. He flies over the top rope like no one else on the planet, and just wipes everybody out for that brief moment.
Takes out everybody.
Yeah,
and that was fun, but.
All the while that's going on.
Let me tell you, he dives over the top rope while the ref is in between the ropes yelling at all the guys on the outside, hey, y'all quit it. Hey, y'all quit it. He jumps over the ref onto everybody.
Yes.
But that distracts the ref just long enough for Kyle O'Reilly to pick up his tag team championship belt.
His guitar.
His guitar, essentially, and clock Hansen over the face with it. And then, of course, now the ref notices that something's going on in the ring, and he shoots the half, rolls him up. 1, 2, 3. Undisputed Era get the numbers advantage, and they sure showed in this match how they can take advantage of that.
Exactly. And that's pretty much like the strategy I need to have going into War Games anyways, to neutralize the War Raiders. Because once you get the power knocked out of those two, and you're just down to Pete Dunne, who's more submissions than anything else, and then you have Ricochet, who takes the air more. As long as you keep, as long as you attack Pete Dunne high, and then, and keep Ricochet low, that's the only way you're going to actually win this match.
Oh, you're going to have to outpower the War Raiders.
Yeah.
And that's going to require 3-on-2.
Yep. And that's why the number advantage, or at least the advantage that they're given right now, is going to play a key. If one of the War Raiders actually starts off in the match itself against 2 members of the Undisputed Era, it doesn't matter which 2 members, it'll still be 2-on-1. And if they put the beating on him, or even just wear him down, that's going to go a long way in them achieving a victory here in that match.
So we got the story of this here. And we got the win by the heels, the Undisputed Era. They've got the advantage going into War Games. Who do you see winning?
I still see the Undisputed Era winning. Not just because, I see from experience, because they won, I think was it last year?
Yes.
I saw
the other one, yeah, they won last year.
Because it was on a video package.
Video package. Everybody gets one.
Thank you, video package. But I saw that, and I see Adam Cole probably getting the last victory over Ricochet, and it'll probably be because
I think it's one pinfall. It's just you.
It's not elimination or anything.
No. I only talked about 2-on-1, 3-on-1 because the other people would be like beaten down to the point where they can't get up.
Yeah.
It's not elimination, I don't believe. But the pinfall can't occur until everybody's in the ring.
Well, I'm also saying at this point that that's the case anyway, that there's still going to be that friction between Ricochet and Pete Dunne, because they were even arguing over who was going to fight, who was going to fight in the match tonight.
All the odds are against the faces in this match,
yes.
And we were tied up, all in agreement, but I'm going to go with the faces. I'm going to go with Ricochet, Pete Dunne, and the War Raiders, Hansen and Rowe.
No.
All signs point to the Undisputed Era. That's why I think they're not going to win. They're going to lose this one. I don't know why. I really don't see where the storyline goes either way. So to me, either team winning makes perfect sense, and I'm sure it's going to be a hell of a match. So I don't care who wins, but somehow I see the faces pulling out.
The thing is that if they're going to continue anything with Ricochet and Pete Dunne, it'll be because one of them is blaming the other for their loss to the Undisputed Era in War Games. It'll be another reason why they hate each other.
This also gives us a winner and a loser. One of us is going to win the predictions, and one of us is going to lose.
Yep.
So
we should have made some sort of wager, but we didn't.
We did not. So with that wrapped up and the predictions out of the way, we did cover the main event, which was the match to determine the advantage.
Yep.
And here on What's NXT, we rate the main event. We do it by the General, Jerry Slaughter's 5-star system. The General's 5 stars. Out of that, where do you rate this main event?
I want to say middle ground, because there was a lot. O'Reilly, I really haven't gotten to see a lot of in singles competition since he came to NXT, or since I really started watching it. So, but getting to watch him manipulate the Hansen's knee and leg, he kept on going right at it. Everything had served a purpose. There was a really cool moment. where he's trying to trip up Hansen, and it's like, skip it.
I'm glad you brought that up, because that does add a layer to the match at War Games, and where we talked about it would take 3-on-2 to take down the size of the War Raiders. Well, with Hansen, you have the biggest of the two War Raiders and the smallest of the team. Maybe that was part of the maybe that's why we saw the two we saw. It was David versus Goliath. It was the smallest of the team on the Undisputed Era versus the largest of the team of the Faces. And it showed that he could do it.
I didn't make that correlation to just now.
He worked on that knee until there was a point where I felt like that ankle lock that he locked on was going to win the match.
Yeah. I was about to say, if he had grapevined it, possibly, yeah.
I felt like if he could have gone back to that and grapevined it, that might have been in sequence to the match. But it wasn't, but they still would. For me, the story.
Yeah.
The story they told going into War Games, showing how the numbers advantage works and how it can work, especially good for a heel team that loves the numbers advantage anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So, where do you rate this?
I still rank it about a 3. Because I think if anything, there's more chaos going on outside the ring towards the end. It kind of took me out of the match. But by that time, they were...
Well, there was no match by that point.
Yeah.
Hansen had hit a clothesline out of nowhere, but both him and O'Reilly were down for like 2 minutes.
It was only after that is when when O'Reilly had to clock Hansen over the head with the belt in order to get the win. But
yeah, so
I still say I'll give it 3 1/4 at least. But yeah, it was at least a solid finisher. A main event that I wasn't really expecting to enjoy, I enjoyed. And we'll just go from there.
Well, this is going to be probably the biggest difference in ratings that we've done for any main event for NXT, because I love this. The match was, I think it was beyond middle of the road. I think it was a good, if not almost great match. But the story it told, we just unraveled a story we didn't even see the first time, and now I like the match even more. So you've got 2 stories being told. You've got David versus Goliath, where the small guy can actually overcome the bigger wrestler. Mm-hmm. And then you have the story of how the numbers game can work in War Games. I'm giving this a 4. 4 stars out of 5.
Wow.
For the main event, the whole sequence of it, everything all together.
I was about to say, I know how big a fan you are of stories too, so then that actually does make a lot of sense. But I'm going to stick with my rating because I've seen better ones, but at the same time, I have nothing bad to say about this match.
I have nothing bad to say about this entire show. This was a really good show.
It was a good show. It really was.
Not enough to make it 4 1/4, but it was definitely a good show. The Lacy Evans match, short but sweet. It was great. The match with Bianca Belair and Mia Yim. Notice I didn't say Kim.
Yep, very good. You get good.
Was a great showcase match. Both of them looked great. The match wasn't hugely engaging, though, so I wouldn't call it enough of a show to actually push this to 4 1/4 for the main event, but definitely for me, 4 star.
Yeah, I'd say that too.
So we are down to the end of the show. This is where we do our plugs. I think I have convinced this guy to maybe get a Twitter. If you want to help me try to convince him, leave a comment down below and pledge to him that you'll be a follower, even if he's got 3 followers. I think it would make him happy to have 3 or 5 fans. Just fans following him. So help me get this guy a Twitter. In the meantime, you can find me on Twitter. It's you can go to nodq.com/Stefan. It's Stefan. Or you can just go to my Twitter, Stefan R. Osborne, OSBORNE. If you are interested in being on our NXT UK show, our NXT party, if you'd like to come have a spot of NXT with us, just get a hold of me on Twitter or anywhere. Leave a comment down below with a way for me to get a hold of you, anything like that. And we'd like to have you on the show. Tomorrow we are going to have superfan Owen Finch, our first official fan to join us for a spot of NXT. Sir Owen. We got to come up with a nickname for him. He can't be the Duchess. We've already got that. That's Cindy. Hopefully we'll have Cindy on again soon, especially with the better audio where you can actually hear her and you can hear me all the time. Hopefully it has been a better experience, and I apologize for the shitty audio before if it was really that bad. Otherwise, you can join us both in Armbar, that is his group on Facebook. all capital letters, ARMBAR, exclamation point. So that's how you can find us on Facebook. And just remember, like the video, subscribe to NoDQ.com if you haven't already. If you want to just get our videos when they first go up, then hit the little bell on the bottom. It'll notify your phone when our videos go live. Other than that, I have been the Wizard of NoDQ.com, Stephen Osborne, joined, of course, as always, by Jerry, the General Slaughter. Thank you guys for joining us for this episode of What's NXT. Join us next week. Join us tomorrow for a spot of NXT on our NXT party. And y'all have a good night, and we'll see you NXT time. Did I say NXT enough times?
NXT.
NXT.